Hey there, how there, ho there. Steph Cutter Dado welcome you to the championship final of the NCAA Action PC tournament with the top franchise teams. You got Kansas and Kentucky, two very good schools going toe to toe. So the format for this tournament was that I found 32 NCAA franchises that had a full team. So what I did was put them from 1 to 32 based on championships won. So that meant you won the most championships at UCLA. You're the 1 seed overall. But 32 schools, and it's based on the stuff and all that. And then it was 2 games total points. But if the combined points were, if one team didn't sweep their opponents, and if the margin of victory was 5 or less, they would play a series game 3. And then there came the round of 16 with the same format, but reseeded because of like everything from 132. In the quarterfinals, I moved it to a best of 3, as in, you got to win 2 games and all that. But point differential would matter to see who would host game 3. The semifinals were a best of 5. Same thing, 2 point differential did matter who would host that pivotal game 5. Now we have a 7-game winner-take-all series. Kansas and Kentucky, some very good schools. Darnell Valentine is the point guard. Louis Dampier, yep. It says Rex Chapman. Johnny Cox. Wayne Hightower, Bud Stallworth, never would have known these guys. So anyway, Kansas, their route, they're the 7th seed. They took on number 26 Oklahoma and beat them. Then they took on number 14 Arizona and beat them. Then they took on number 16 Georgetown, beat them, and then just swept the best of 5 series against Villanova, who were number 9. Kentucky is the 2 seed, were projected to make the finals, and they didn't disappoint. They took care of Iowa, number 31. They took care of number 22 Utah. They took care of number 27 Purdue and number 20 Ohio State via the sweep in the semifinals. The funny thing is they hadn't faced anyone higher than Ohio State. Now they got to face number 7 Kansas. Well, in the NCAA tournament, the first round, there were 4 upsets. Like 4 higher seeded teams went down. Number 27 Purdue took care of number 6 UConn, shocker. 22 Utah took care of number 11 Michigan State. Number 20 Ohio State took care of number 13 Oklahoma State. And number 18 Michigan took care of number 15 Arkansas. So of the 8 squads in the round of 16, we expected to see many good teams. And there were a couple of shocks. There were 3 shocks. Number 1 UCLA lost to number 27 Purdue. Number 3 North Carolina lost to number 20 Ohio State. And number 5 Indiana lost to number 16 Georgetown. And in the quarterfinals, Kentucky, Ohio State, Kansas, and Nova moved on. Well, Ohio State upset Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, and Nova easily went there. But now we are in the best of 7 finals. First game is in Kentucky because they were the better seed. Avoid that stupid Boston header. I don't know why there's not a Kentucky header, but anyway, it doesn't matter. That's it.
The final score, Boston 106, Kansas 87. Boston was led by, Kansas was led by.
So nobody really had the big point totals. It was just team offense, I guess. So, yeah, you see those points. Gooden, Stallworth, Pierce, White, Bridges, and LaFrance coming off the bench. While Kentucky had these guys coming off the bench. Well, you had Denzel Valentine, Kirk Heinrich, Danny Manning, Claude Lavelle, Will Chamberlain, Drew Gooden, Stallworth, Paul Pierce, JoJo White, Bridges, and LaFrance. Boston had Louis Dampier, Tony Delk, Jim Cox, Cliff Hagan, Alex Groza, Dan Izzo, Kenny Walker, Gibbons, Macy, Ramsey, Beard, and Joel Mashburn. Hadn't seen him in a while. So, first blood to Kentucky. So Kansas has to go back to Kentucky and play. But we'll see what happens here.
The final score, Boston 121, Kansas 96. Boston was led by Issel with 18 points, 14 rebounds, Groza with 14 points, 16 rebounds, Delk with 29 points, 10 rebounds. Kansas was led by Lavalette with 27 points, 10 rebounds. Chamberlain with 21 points, 8 rebounds. Manning with 20 points, 9 rebounds.
So Kansas did better with Manny Lavoie and Chamberlain. All that you see, Hightower, Wesley playing a minute. Frank Beard. All right. Good job by Kentucky. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So Kentucky has to go to Kansas. That's right. The other way around. So Kansas gets those the next 2 games. See what happens here.
The final score, Boston 110, Kansas 107. Boston was led by Dampier with 25 points, Kriza with 21 points, 14 rebounds. Kansas was led by Lavalette with 22 points, 11 rebounds. Chamberlain with 29 points, 9 rebounds. Valentine with 10 points, 14 assists.
So yeah, so Kentucky. Georgia White came on for 16 seconds. Kind of a waste of time if you ask me. But yeah, Groza, Izzo, and Walker pretty good off the bench. They have some good players, but everyone else should be picking up the pieces like Delkin Cox. But yeah, 110-107 for Kentucky. So if Kentucky wins just 1 game out of 4, they're going to win the title. Can they do it? We'll see.
The final score, Boston 113, Kansas 97. Boston was led by Dampier with 22 points, Kriza with 21 points, 12 rebounds, Hagan with 11 points, 13 rebounds. Kansas was led by Lavalette with 21 points, Chamberlain with 29 points, 11 rebounds, Gooden with 12 points, 12 rebounds.
Well, congratulations to Kentucky. Like, it was like no problem at all. Kentucky didn't face any major flaws. I think Purdue just, I think Kentucky didn't face any major threats throughout the tournament. No, Iowa didn't threaten them. Utah didn't threaten them. Purdue didn't really threaten them. Ohio State didn't threaten them. Kansas didn't even threaten them. So Kentucky roared through the tournament with not as much as a whimper. I guess that was kind of weird, but yeah. So hail to the Kentucky Wildcats of Louis Dampier, Tony Delk, Jim Cox, Cliff Hagan, Alex Godoza, Kenny Skywalker, Dan Izzo, Frank Ramsey, Butch Beard, I guess it is, and Jack Givens. That's right, Jack Givens, the guy from 78. I remember him now. But Kansas, Washington, Valentine, Kurt Heinrich, Danny Manning, Claude LaFoyelle, Will Chamberlain, Drew Gooden, Stallworth, Paul Pierce, Jojo White, Nick Florfriends, Ray Florfriends, and Nick Collison. Good try, but yeah, 113.97. I wasn't close. Kentucky didn't need to use Walter Davis, Joel Mashburn, Rex Chapman, Kyle Macy, or Ron Mercer. Kansas didn't use Robish, Wesley, Hightower, or Bridges. So, yeah, Kansas outscored them in the third quarter, but Kentucky won. So that was even close. Has this video even gone 5 minutes? Well, yeah, 10 minutes, but yeah, that was easy. A little too easy, don't you think? But yeah, Kentucky beats Kansas. Great job. They are the ultimate NCAA champs. Like I kind of figured they were going to be. So that's all I got to say. Anyway, I'm Chubb Diamond, that do.